right, so another day, another day. Good afternoon, Thriving. All right, so we are still within our decisional point right now, which is kind of annoying, kind of like chopping around. And we also have the contract change occurring like today, pretty much. So either like today or tomorrow. Let's take a look. I don't even know, something like that. So as of right now, I'm gonna be honest. I don't have the clearest read on price. I'm gonna be honest. The only thing is that I still think that previous week low looks pretty good. If we're looking at like the 4 hour chart, right? Then that previous week low does look pretty good in my opinion. But we're gonna need to see like pretty big displacement away from that. So now is high impact news. So let's see what happens. Like these equal lows. Was this SMT? This was an SMT. So yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah, as we go through today's price action, I think we'll see uh, clear things. But for now, it's just kind of we're kind of just going back and forth on the higher time frame. So lower time frame wise, I don't have a clear direction because of that. Right, so we're in. So right now, what I'm looking at is the 4 hour Fair Valley gap because this is the clearest to me as of right now. So if I were to frame a trade, I'd be looking at this 4 hour Fair Valley gap. Then from that, I would go to the 15-minute and just look for that SMT divergence, which we have on the highs. And then from that, we can look for some sort of short. And I think that these lows look pretty good. Yep, stacked SMT. You are correct with I think it was with. Let me take a look really quickly. Yeah, on the highs here, stacked SMT. It looks like a pretty good short, to be honest. Yeah, you have SMT divergence on these highs. Well, so there you have stacked SMT divergence. Almost 10K subs on YouTube, guys. We're almost there. Thanks for all the support. Appreciate it. I'm at like 9.3K now. Insane. Absolutely insane. The SMT divergence video is doing really well, but I think it's also because it's like information there is really, really good. Yeah, so if you guys are looking for a trade, I feel like this is a good spot to be like looking for that. We could potentially be going for these equal lows here, to be honest. It'd be pretty expensive if this is the right move right now. Um Once again, manage risk accordingly, but it does look pretty good if this is the trade. Where would I mark my standard deviation? Probably do it on the SMT divergence on the 15 minute. Let's see where this market maker sell. So I'd be looking for like a market maker sell model, and if we do have a market maker sell, then it would be on these highs, right? So higher, I'd probably put it on this leg that just got created because it's created a new SMT divergence, and so we can target right the standard deviation, see if it lines up with stuff. This one is a more interesting projection, but I'll try to check something. I don't see much in terms of projections. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing too clear in terms of projections, if I'm being honest. I would just like trade this accordingly, targeting like low resistance liquidity. And then if I was trading the 15 minute here, then I'd just use the SMT divergence leg. So this would be the clearest projection for me right now, is just using this right here. Did anybody take a short? Weekly profile, let me take a look for you really quickly, Levi. You should extend. I think shorts are pretty good. So if you're in one, you should. So let's take a look at the weekly quarters. I'm just gonna use the indicator here and then split it up. Show up though. AMD, yeah, for sure, it's AMDX. So I'm like 90% confident that we're going lower. Just looking at the weekly profile, because that's where it threw me off earlier this week, right? Where I was like expecting accumulation, manipulation, distribution, and then X, but I didn't expect manipulation to be higher prices. So I actually expected this week to look more like accumulation and then we go lower, and I expected that, and then distribution higher. That's what I was expecting, but it's kind of just going bearish instead of that way, right? So then that's what kind of threw me off yesterday. So far, so good though. Pretty good. I'd say your like this is like your first terminal objective, but then you also have these equal lows right below that. And then afterwards, obviously you have all of this, but that might be run out tomorrow or even next week. Is pretty far away. We did just sweep a lot of liquidity here as well, so that's something to pay attention to. How we're reacting to liquidity. Snows, I for now I would disregard that SMT on the lows personally, and the reason why is just there's no higher time frame period to frame it off of. Yes, there is. I don't see like the clearest trade I see right now is like the 4 hour internal, which would be this 4 hour fair value gap to 4 hour external, which would be this low. That's the clearest trade I see right now. Um, well, I'm already above the 830 candle. Yeah, I'm just paying attention to this right now. This could become a precision swing point, so just be careful of that. On this one, Ethan, hypothetically, where would you be looking for entry on a short, and what would stop loss placement be when it's extended? Like, but you are looking to get in on the continuation. Um, to be honest, to me, it's not like obvious where price is going. That's why I'm not pushing any buttons. I'm just kind of building narrative for you guys. Like if it's extremely obvious to me, then that's when I'll press a button. But right now it's just like it looks like a good short, and that's why I'm annotating it for you guys. But in my head, it's like I still have a narrative for both ways on like the higher time frame. But if I were to frame a trade right now, it's this one right here. And then from here is where you want to see displacement away. You want to see displacement lower from here for bearish. This is last line of defense essentially. So paying attention to immediate order flow. This is last line of defense, pretty much. If not, then we could potentially be creating a precision swing point here in 1 minute 25 seconds, right? Create a precision swing point, and then we can pay attention to this rejection block. And then that's when you would kind of start flipping bias. Because once again, you're paying attention to how price is reacting to liquidity, right? So we dug below lows, how we're reacting. We're failing to really displace past it. So this is a point where it's like you might have to flip bias if that's the case. But once again, like looking at the 4 hour, there's nothing to really frame this off of. So if it's part of your plan, then you can go for it. But there's nothing in my plan that lets me trade this. For me personally, though, it's been a tough week. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's mainly because that AMD profile, like I didn't expect it to be the way it is, and also the contract switch. 5 minute looks like a unicorn right here, right? This would be that 5 minute unicorn. Once again, this is where you want to see that displacement away, displacement lower. And then now, once again, paying attention to immediate order flow. What are we doing inside of immediate order flow? So let's say this fair value gap that just got created. What are we doing inside that? Are we able to disrespect it? So naturally, because we have that 5 minute unicorn right now, I would like to see quick displacement away from it, meaning quick displacement lower. Right? Because this is a 1 minute unicorn right here. A 1 minute unicorn versus a 5 minute unicorn. But I personally, I'm leaning more bearish. If I had to, like, gun to my head, if I had to call a bias, I'd say I'm leaning more bearish right now. But I need to see this kind of stuff disrespected before, like, I feel confident in that bias. Once again, this is where we need to see acceleration to the downside if we're expecting more bearishness. Let's take a look at the daily quarters really quickly. Yeah, so far so good. I feel like this, like within this quarter, this daily quarter, we should be seeing distribution lower. So everything in terms of my analysis is telling me that we're leading bearish. 5 minutes, I'm still paying attention to this unicorn. ASC displacement away. One right here. I would take a stab at a short here. And then I just put my stop loss at this high. And then this is where I want to see acceleration lower. So if we get acceleration lower past this low, and then I would ultimately want a dig past these lows right here too. And I want to see acceleration through that low to be comfortable in this position. Moving my stop loss, I'd be comfortable with moving my stop loss to break even now, pretty much. Or just a little bit in profit, just to make sure those commission fees or anything made are fine. And then this gap, I would like to see some sort of IOFED. That means that the midpoint, I would prefer it does not get revisited. So here, let me put the middle line here for you. Middle line right there, I would prefer that middle point does not get revisited, meaning it's a breakaway gap. And so past this low, I want to see acceleration into this next liquidity. Could you guys hear me the whole time? Wait, please tell me you could hear me that whole time. I'm about to cry. How come I can't see the chat? No way. No way. You guys couldn't hear me. Nah. Bro, I can't with this shit. Nah. I was literally tape reading the whole fucking thing for you guys. Oh my god, bro. There's no way. I'm so sorry for that. Oh god. All right. Oh my god. I can't. Okay. All right, okay, let me recap why I took that trade. Damn, that's actually crazy. I moved my mic. Okay, I apologize. I think my microphone, like the cable for it, I forgot what, like, I think it's like it got a little loose or something, like it's a little wonky. So I moved my microphone, it like unplugged it slightly, and then like it didn't pick up anything. And then I looked to my other monitor after ranting that whole time, and I was like, wait, there's no green circle around my Discord, so like no one could hear me. And then my Discord chat wasn't like automatically scrolling either, so it was just like it didn't even show me that there's new chats coming in. Bro, that's actually crazy. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. Anyways, okay, let's recap this really quickly. Why did I take that trade? Is because I'm using the same logic inside the SMT divergence video that I show you guys. So how come when I entered, we just got quick expansion right away? And that's what I want to see in my trades. Is I was expecting this origin consolidation to be hit. And so following the exact same logic as my model on any time frame, it's just going from higher time frame PDRA, right, which is this 5-minute unicorn, into 15-second SMT divergence. So this SMT divergence is telling me that this distribution phase has completed, right? So it's just using the exact same logic, telling me that this distribution phase has completed and that I'm looking for lower prices. And so that's why I decided to execute my trade over here. We get that expansion lower. And then I was telling you guys, as I was managing it, I was saying that you want to pay attention to immediate order flow. So in terms of immediate order flow at this point in time, what was price doing? It respected this high, and I was saying I don't want to see the midpoint of this fair value gap met again, right? So that would identify that as a breakaway gap essentially, or IOFED. And that just basically means the middle point of the fair value gap doesn't get met again. And so once that occurred, we started to trade lower. And so I trailed my stop loss to this high because this high is the high that was respecting order flow. And so I didn't want price to revisit that. So once we started displacing lower, I wanted to see speed past this liquidity level over here, because on the 15-second chart, right, once again, higher time frame PDRA, lower time frame SMT divergence, lower time frame structure. In this case, we have a low 15-second market maker sell model, right? And so just the exact same logic I'm using is now I'm just using on a more fractal level, because I've already framed my trade from a 4-hour level, right? From a 4-hour PDRA to a 15-minute SMT divergence. Now going a little deeper, 5-minute unicorn into 15-second market maker sell model, right? So it's all fractal. I'm using the exact same logic. And I was telling you guys how it's unfortunate that I got stopped in profit, but according to my risk plan, it still counts as a win because I got stopped in profit, right? So to my risk plan, that means I would be done trading for the day. And that's I guess that would be the one thing that I don't like about my risk management plan is that if I have trailing stop loss as tight as it is, then it puts me in profit. And that means, according to my risk plan, I'm done for trading for the day, right? So as of right now, I'm like 4 points in profit, but it's really, you know, it's like tiny. But yeah, I was just playing out this narrative market maker sell model on this 15-second chart. That's why I took that trade. And so you can see why in my trades, like understanding my setup, I'm looking for displacement right away. In this case, it's not playing out to the way that I want my setup to play out, which is why I got stopped out. And for all I know, like it can do whatever it wants now. If it goes down, it's whatever. If it goes up, it's whatever, right? Like I followed my plan. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Any questions on that? And once again, I'm sorry that that my mic was muted. I apologize for that. Or not muted, but just unplugged by itself. I swear, I like never face these technical difficulties until I started streaming for premium. It's actually so weird. The market makers are on to me, bro. Did you guys hear me talk about the 5-minute unicorn earlier or no? Okay. And how, like, if we were in the 5-minute unicorn, I would want to see displacement away from it. Okay, okay, perfect. So right now we have another SMT divergence on the highs, 15-second. I'm paying attention to that. Okay. If it's valid, then you'll see displacement away from it. This is also now a 15-minute unicorn model, right? Earlier we were in that 5-minute unicorn. Now we're inside this 15-minute unicorn. So that's another potential area that you'd be interested in, right? Especially with SMT divergence on the highs. So now you'll be referring to the 1 minute instead of the 15-second because it's a 15-minute unicorn model, right? 15-minute unicorn. And so you want to pay attention once again. What is immediate order flow telling you right now? 15-minute unicorn right here. Right here. Fair value gap, breaker block right here. Reason why this unicorn is valid is because of SMT divergence on the highs. So now let's start paying attention. What's the lower time frame doing in relation to this 15-minute unicorn model? And this is how I would dissect it, right? So it's just waiting for lower time frame confirmation within a higher time frame confirmation. So it's like getting double confirmation, you know what I mean? Instead of just blindly selling, buying patterns, essentially. So right now, once again, paying attention to immediate order flow, it looks like it's being respected. Let's see if we can invert this gap now. I'm in a short right now. Should I exit and re-enter as it's 9:30 open in a bit? So what I would ask you before I give you my answer, I would ask you this question because this is what I asked myself. Has manipulation occurred prior to 9:30 already in your narrative? If it has, then 9:30 will most likely just be an acceleration, just as any high impact news event. If your manipulation has already occurred, then you are looking for just an acceleration in price essentially. Right now looks pretty good for bearishness, right? 15-minute unicorn displacing lower. Past these lows, I want to see speed. This is the final, this is last chance essentially to run through these lows in my head. $18,225. Oh, that's pretty far. I think we might be looking at different charts though. Are you looking at the continuous contract or the continuous? Okay, so we're looking at the same one. Let's see. 18,255. Look here. Do you use projections for that or wouldn't there always be a manipulation if you're in with your model since the SMT is manipulation? In other words, you just stay in if news or 9:30 open is happening. Hmm. Yes and no, to be honest, shipwrecked. Because sometimes here's the thing: when you have one market creating, okay, let's say you create SMT divergence, right? And then let's say the third market is also like this. And then you want to be a little careful because if you're in a short from this one, for example, being in a short in this market versus being in a short in this market is it's different. You see what I mean? Like one has clear manipulation that has occurred. The other, you don't know if this high is going to hold from high impact news. So you don't know if it can just wick above first before dropping. Does that make sense? You do mock trade management. Yeah, okay, give me 1 second. Projected standard deviations fib from London. Okay, so that would be the 15-minute chart from London session. I would assume you're doing this manipulation like 255. Something like that. Looks solid. Time-based manipulation. I like that. Mock trade management on the lower time frame. Yeah, I got you right now. So where did you enter from, Meeks? Yeah, that's good, shipwreck. So once again, the one that makes a new swing point, you're looking for a cleaner trade. The one that fails to make a new swing point, you are looking for a more volatile trade. Enter demo at 386. Oh damn, you got a good ass entry. So right now, if I'm being honest, my stop loss, and this might be a little too aggressive for you, so you decide. But like I feel like my stop loss, I wouldn't be like too afraid to put it midpoint of this fair value gap right here. And the reason is I'm expecting this fair value gap to be you know, expecting this to be a breakaway gap because we have an RDRB right here. And so I'm paying attention to this RDRB specifically and also these lows right here. So I want to see price accelerate through those lows. Move stop to above the SIBI. Okay. Either way, I think that this should be a good stop loss because if we're going lower, it should be now past these lows. And if we do get a move here, you're going to get an expansive one. Give me speed. Speed. Let's see if we can get speed past this low. Don't mind me, I'm gonna just drop to the 5 second real quick. Yeah, that looks like a quick little manipulation to me. But right now, I'd move my stop loss to this high. I'm fine with that. Like if I was in this trade, I would do this, and that would put you in 21 points profit. So that's pretty good. For example, I would have to that high after price broke below those lows. I think yeah, we had the same idea. This high right here, and the reason I chose this high is because it's respecting order flow right now. So if this RDRB is to be respected, then I want this high to stay open, and also look at how we're reacting to these lows. So you know that's my risk tolerance right there. It's like I don't want this shit to turn on me. That's why it's like I feel like the way I do my trade management is the way I do it because I have like a sense of like so I have somewhat of a sense of like perfectionism in me, and obviously that's not good in trading, but it's like by doing my stop losses, my trailing stop losses like this, it's like it keeps my win rate really high and therefore keeps my mental at its A game a lot, like most of the time. So that would be a stop out right there, and then you'd be stopped out in 21 points. And so now, even if you took this trade from the 15-minute unicorn, like this is like, I'm pretty sure that should be your trade right there. Let's look. If you're using my model right there, that should be your 2R trade anyways. Yeah, that's a 2R trade right there. Right? So nothing to really complain about here. Like at that point, if you took this trade, you should just be happy with it and be like, all right, I don't really care what price does anymore after this. You know what I mean? Just be content with enough. And even on the 5 minute earlier, you could have caught this 2R. Like if you use this 5 minute unicorn, you also could have caught this 2R using my model. Pretty sure, at least. Yeah, you would have caught this 2R right here. Right? So that's like right now, literally what we're doing. We're scalping. Shit, DJ. We're pretty much just scalping chop right now. That's what we're doing. It's nothing clear in the market, in my opinion. Kind of shit. If I'm being honest, like daily, like what are you supposed to do on the daily chart? What is this? This is garbage. That's why I haven't referred to the daily in a while. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, it looks like DXY, bro. Looking like GBP USD. But yeah, overall, this is still the main framework of today. Okay, this is the main framework of today so far. Yeah, there's SMT on the lows on the 1 minute. Actually, if you look on 15-minute chart, there is, but like 5 minute, there's also SMT right here. The lows right here. 1 minute, it'll be more clear. It looks like this. This is the SMT on the lows. Once again, I'm kind of disregarding SMT on the lows, and the reason I'm doing that is because the main framework is bearish price action, right? Yeah, SMT with YM. So the main reason I am fading these bullish SMT divergences is because I have no higher time frame PD array to frame these SMTs that are occurring on the lows, essentially, and that's why I'm fading it. But once again, nothing too interesting right now. We have equities open in 10 minutes, and that should be something that's interesting. And to be honest, my expectations for 9:30 is just like a drive lower is what I would like to see. I don't necessarily see a reason for it to, trade higher at 9:30 based on this framework right now. And a quick question: we would use 4 hour 15 minute today instead of 1 hour 5 minute example because 4 hour has clear PDA. Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. Is because the 4 hour looks clearer than the 1 hour today, right? So we're looking at the 1 hour. We have like these two fair value gaps, but it's like it doesn't really look that clean. So then I'll just refer to either 4 hour, 1 hour, which one's cleaner. Well, right now 4 hour looks pretty clean from internal range to external range if we're looking in terms of that. And so because we have this fair value gap that looks pretty evident that we're trading inside, right? When we look at the 15 minute, we have SMT within it. We have stacked SMT, right? So looks pretty good so far. um, so any feedback on the lives is appreciated if you guys have any. because I always want to make sure you guys have the best learning experience. I'm trying to like kind of incorporate what you guys have been requesting. Like you guys want to see like where I enter stuff like that. I've been trying to like incorporate my thought process more so that it's like an explanation of why I'm taking the positions I am. But sometimes it's just like, man, I'm getting used to speaking out my thought process rather than internalizing. Because in my head, like literally all in my head, it goes by really fast. I'm like, our 4 hour Valley Gap, 50 minute unicorn. Let's go to 1 minute. 1 minute market maker sell model. You know, like in my head, it's like it's going by really quickly. And when I try to like speak it out, it's like that's why sometimes it's hard for me to like call out my position. I'm just like 1 second I'll be like one moment I'll be like talking about something, and then the next moment I'm like I'm in a short. You know, like that's why. Especially, it doesn't help that my executions are in the 15 seconds either, or like the 5 second. Yeah, I'm gonna do some London sessions for those that want it because I it's definitely not gonna be like often, but like I'll do like one or two. So far, so good. But then we'll be tied for New York AM. Yeah, so if I do a London session stream, I'm most likely not gonna stream New York AM because I'm gonna be exhausted. Because that means I literally get no sleep. I'm ruining my sleep schedule for you guys. No. Yeah, it's like 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. That's the kill zone. Thank you, Thor. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, I think when I do SMT, I should type instead of just SMT. I should type out SMT with ES or SMT with the YM. Then you guys know for sure. Yeah, I got you, Snows. I can explain time synchronization and time frame alignment on Monday. I'll explain it more in depth since that's the Q&A. I was about to say that, Harv, but then this week because my girl's with me, she's been, shining. She's been shining the flashlight on me. I feel like I'm this little rat that stares at the charts all day. She shines a flashlight on me. I'm like, I mean, that's just what it is. Like, trading is one of the hardest game. Like, you're literally putting yourself into the hardest industry by trying to trade. I'm just saying, what profession allows you to make thousands of dollars that is extremely scalable within a couple minutes? You know what I mean? It's like there's no profession that does that. Okay, maybe there are, but like, like realistically, is like legally, it's pretty difficult to get to that point. You gotta work hard, bruh. And it's not even that, like, trading is such a good skill to have because there's so many different things you can do with that skill. You become an analyst, you can become a teacher, you can become your own trader, right? It's like You can be a content creator. All of that. Trading, like, well, honestly, it's not necessarily trading itself, but like money in itself. You know what I mean? Money itself opens up all these opportunities. Equities open in 4 minutes. By the way, that SMT on the low has been invalidated for those that were looking for it. It's been invalidated. If you see YMES, trade lower. No, for real, Snows. I mean, that's just what like it comes down. Like when you have money, you just have to invest it somehow. If I had $1 billion, I'd just be trading 1 point per day. Okay, maybe not 1 point. Like if you took 5 points per day, imagine you had like, okay, let's say you're trading $1 million in capital. You're trading for 5 points per day. Like that's more than enough. If you can find your highest probability setup that gives you 5 points per day, that is enough. Trust me, that's enough. Now I don't want to be that guy, but we are creating a precision swing point here. So that is something you can be aware of. Why do end dogs have to do this? I feel like I should study end dog and walk more. I feel like it's just like something I like barely pay attention to. I'm gonna be honest. And opening range gap, yeah. I have to check that out. Equities open in 50 seconds. Is that always news? I see. Interesting statistic. I feel like that's just like easy drawn liquidity, no? If you use the opening range gap. Yeah, that's true. Like at the end of the day, it's just higher time from context. Like what is the higher time frame telling us right now? And then any drawn liquidity you have, it will be in confluence with other draws on liquidity. I would be honest. Like I genuinely believe that I like 90% of ICT is just like the same thing but taught over and over again in different ways. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. Because it's like if let's say you have a unicorn model, it's in confluence with what a fair value gap ICT 2022 model. What makes a unicorn high probability? SMT divergence. Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like it's all the same thing. It's gonna be if you have one model, it's in confluence with other models for sure. If you're a retail trader, what's a unicorn model? Support and resistance. You know what I mean? Like what's a breaker support and resistance? So as I was saying earlier, 9:30, I was expecting lower price movement. I'm expecting this liquidity to at least get tapped. Then if we get displacement past this liquidity pool, then I'm looking for these equal lows. Essentially, yeah, that's what it is. Inversion of Ndog. But you see how like my narrative it just lines up with that. You know what I mean? That's why it's like I'm saying like even if I didn't learn it, it's like the confluence is still there. It's like I'm just looking at this low, you're looking at Ndog. If we get displacement past this low, you're looking for inversion of Ndog. If we get manipulation of this low, we're seeing support from Ndog. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of like that. Yeah, exactly, shipwreck. So like when people are using heat maps, what are we looking at? We're looking at highs and lows for liquidity. It's like pretty much the same thing. I think okay, this is like more catered like literally catered towards you snows, but I think that you know too much. I feel like that is the issue for you from my experience watching you do your analysis and stuff like that. I feel like you know too much. Like you know a lot and that's good, but at the same time it's holding you back. Cuz it's like if okay, imagine all you knew today was the unicorn model and you had no clue Ndog existed. Okay? And you just took a very simple short from up here. You're like, all right, unicorn model. I'm gonna trade this pattern, and I'm gonna be in this trade. Let's target 3R. Like you would have been fine. You would have just gotten that right. It was like, okay, I think we're going internal range liquidity to external range liquidity on the 4 hour, and I'm targeting this low with the. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm imitating like someone that just like looks at ICT patterns. You know what I mean? Then that's all you would see. You know what I mean? Then you already took your trade. You're done for a day. Whatever, right? Yeah, Trading the Zone's a really good book. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, Snows. I'm just saying it's like it could be potentially like holding you back. It's good to know more, but how I like to manage that information is just take everything with a grain of salt. What works for me? What actually is useful to my system? And I'll take that. That's all I need. It's like sequential SMT divergence. Why do I use that mainly? Because I use SMT divergence prior to a sequential SMT divergence. So it's like, oh, now I have some sort of filter for SMT divergence. It's perfect because it's literally my model, right? So that's like, but then it's like, for example, rotating true opens. Like, do I use that every time? No, not really, because it doesn't fit into my model. So we've met two targets so far of the day expected. Final target would be this, and let's see if we can even get a drive down there. Because right now it looks like we're just if we go into 1 minute, it's probably consolidating, right? Yes, true open, just buy below and sell above is a very good filter. It's like a simple. It's literally just premium discount. Like buy discount, sell premium. It's as simple as that. But now you have a time based price level that tells you what is premium, what is discount in relation to your current defined range in time that you're trading. So that's what makes it so good. So based on this reaction right here, I would start flipping my bias to go long because of this displacement. So we have manipulation on the lows and displacement higher. So that's something that could be a factor, especially we have this market structure shift of the swing point, the swing high occurring within a fair value gap. Trade through that market structure shift, look for higher prices, right? The only thing is, once again, we don't have much PD arrays to refer to. The only thing we have right now is a rejection block, which is this here. So this right here would be that rejection block on the 4 hour. I don't know if you want to use that. Let's see if it's a get a precision swing point somewhere here. No precision swing points either, so nothing I would necessarily refer to unless you're using this order block. But once again, it's like you can justify a lot of different things here. If we get displacement higher, then we can flip bias. But right now, it's like we're paying attention to this high right now. We still have 5 minutes for this candle close. Once again, if we get displacement higher, then I would be willing to flip bias here. We're getting SMT on the highs here. I think we are actually. So within this 15-minute unicorn, you can look for Let's see. Actually, let me see. We have SMT on the highs. Once again, I feel like if we get displaced, like we still have 4 minutes. So if we get displacement past this point, then that's when I would flip bullish. Right now, I'd just be kind of sitting on my hands. We might get a precision swing point. No, not here. We don't have one. Bruh, why? How long was I quiet for? Okay, that's not terrible. 2 minutes. I was saying that this right here would be lower time frame. Seek and destroy. That's pretty much all I was saying. And I was just saying that the 15-minute candle, if we get displacement past the swing point high, that happens in a fair value gap, then I'm just looking for higher prices. Oh, I was also saying that if we're using SMT divergence on the higher time frames, we have SMT on the highs and lows. So it's like that's why it's like kind of difficult to decide which way specifically. By the way, I'm in a short from this high up here. Um, no cap. Going for that 20-yard trade. Mhm. Yeah, just not something I'm very interested in being involved with. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't think this is something you you can trade with high conviction as of right now, unless you're on the seconds charts. All right, thriving. See you. See you later. Here we go. Yep. Wait, I would want to see speed past these lows. So far, so good. I'm still paying attention to this low specifically right here. I think this is the actually new day opening gap too, or something. If I remember earlier, this would be that new day opening gap. Pretty good. In a short, by the way. Just kidding. I'm not. I'm not. That'd be crazy though. All good, Daniel. Break even's better than the loss. Nice. Pretty good. I like this. And then past this low, we would. I once again, I'm targeting previous week low. So no, I don't. Daniel, it's fine. Like if you got stopped out, it is what it is. You know what I mean? If you try to chase now, it's most likely gonna like it's gonna keep going down until you sell. Just think of it like that. Whenever you feel FOMO, it's gonna keep going until you enter, and then it's gonna go the other right, go the other way the second you enter. That's just how it works. Rigged like that. Insane Hermes shit. Dollar. I didn't really take a look at dollar to be honest. Daily chart still pushing higher. Stacked SMTs. All right, well, on that note, I think this setup already played out, so I'm probably gonna call it here. And yeah, thank you guys for spending your mornings with me again. Have a great rest of your days, guys. And if you are in a short, I would definitely like take partials. You know what I mean? Take partials and then see how the rest plays out. Ultimate draw and liquidity. I'm looking for these equal lows or previous week low, pretty much. Right. Once again, we have that SMT divergence with previous week high, so we can look for lower prices. Other than that, yeah, I think that's about all I need to say on today. Any final questions before I hop off here? Quick one, peep this. Do you take that trade? Snows? Yes, that's a valid. That's the one I was highlighting. The 15-minute unicorn, right? 15-minute unicorn. We have a SMT divergence on the 1 minute, right? So now you're using, what's it called? You're using time frame alignment, right? So you're using the higher time frame, which is 4 hours in this case. 15-minute is framing like 15-minute price action within that 4 hour fair value gap, right? And so framing that, you're using the quote unquote lower time frame, which would be the 15-minute of the 4 hour, right? You're using the lower time frame of the lower time frame to frame another setup. So that would be from the 15 to the 1 minute. So in this case, you could just say higher time frame, intermediate term time frame, lower time frame, right? So now you're using from 4 hour, which is your time synchronization, because you're using, oh sorry, 15-minute, because you're using the daily cycle essentially to frame your SMT divergence, right, on the highs. And then using time frame synchronization, you're also using, that's how you find your time frame alignment, right? As I taught before, is we understand that we're using 15 minutes 4 hour PD array, right? And so if we're using 15-minute, we can use 1 minute to dissect price. That makes sense? I hope that makes sense. Yeah, we'll dive deeper on it on Monday. When would you see market maker sell model complete? These previous week lows over here. That's when I would see it's like complete. Inversion for value. Yeah, I mean, I'm just like when we're bearish, we just ignore bullish PD rays essentially, and then when we're bullish, we ignore bearish PD rays. So on that note, once again, I think that was a pretty good stream actually. Like we annotated this first thing in the stream, really good stuff. On that note, take care everybody, and I'll see you all tomorrow. I believe I also have a live stream tomorrow. Let me check my schedule. Yes, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8:15 a.m. Yeah. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.